Okay, folks, a new tornado warning has been issued for the same cell, but in a new location, of course. This one has now moved towards Calhoun County at the moment. Of course, still plenty of shower and thunderstorm activity all across the Gulf Coast, of course, especially here in the Panhandle. Current watches and warnings. We still have that severe thunderstorm watch for all of the Panhandle, and this is the area that we're focused on right now. That red polygon, as we'll call it, is the box in which inside those should probably be taking cover at the moment to remain safe from this potential tornado. It's a radar indicated tornado, which means the National Weather Service has spotted something in the velocity imagery on the radar that would suggest some rotation present in the atmosphere. It's associated with this cell right here. Notice all the lightning within that system moving swiftly off to the east at the moment, about 30 or 35 miles per hour. And it's actually the same cell that earlier produced a tornado warning into northern Bay County through portions of Lynn Haven. And then prior to that, down near Laguna Beach, a tornado warning was issued. So now we'll look at what we're seeing right now. We're going to look at the velocity imagery because, again, this radar indicated tornado. We need to look at how the winds are moving in the atmosphere to potentially spot this system. We're going to zoom in towards Calhoun County at the moment. This is the area we're going to want to keep an eye on here, and it's a pretty telltale sign. Notice the reds and then the greens right there. It's the sign that we have winds moving in opposite directions of one another in close proximity as well. That's important too. It would suggest to us that there is some resemblance of rotation up here in the atmosphere, potentially a tornado spiraling down to the surface there that could be a hazard to those living here in Calhoun County. It's going to cross over, it looks like Highway 74 there at the moment, 71 at the moment, moving towards Scotts Ferry there, because a few minutes away here, moving towards State Road 12 there as well. Probably to the south of Bluntstown here, but still looks like we have plenty of roads there for those living along these paths here in Calhoun County. Worth keeping an eye on here throughout the Panhandle. I'm going to zoom out for you here real quick. We're going to see that tornado warning once again has made its way into Calhoun County. It's the same system that we saw here around an hour ago in the northern portions of Bay County. Now at the moment we're watching this system embedded in that severe thunderstorm warning at the moment. So not only is that potential tornado one of the impacts that we're keeping an eye on here with the system, plenty of other threats here to worth keeping an eye on as well. Notice there's still going to be plenty of lightning within this system, and of course keeping an eye on that and potentially hail as well. If we could get the Max 1 on the side monitors here. We're keeping an eye on this thunderstorm here. Right within that area of the thunderstorm could be some potential rotation at the moment. So again, this one's moving eastward at the moment. It's the same similar trajectory as the last tornado warning we had seen. And again, looking at that velocity imagery, that's the spot we're going to want to keep an eye on, just at the northwestern corner of this red tornado warning polygon here. Crossing over 71 through Kenari at the moment, quickly eastward towards Scotts Ferry. We have decent signatures here, both the greens and the reds, showing at least a resemblance of that rotation. Now the radar itself scanning away from the surface there at a slight incline. So we're looking a bit higher in the atmosphere with this system than we were looking with the previous tornado warning, if you joined us earlier on this afternoon. That means that while this rotation looks somewhat more impressive, it's also higher in the atmosphere. It takes a little bit more to get it back down to the surface. So that's something to keep in mind here. For now, we're going with that radar indicated tornado warning. And that means you're going to want to take it seriously because we haven't had any reports yet, but there certainly is some sign there that there could be a tornado heading towards your location. So what I'm going to need you to do is find an interior room in your house or away from windows inside of a building or structure that is secure, not a mobile home, and just bunker down here and stay with us for a couple of minutes here as we watch for this one to progress eastward and hopefully fall apart as it does so in the process. I'm going to show you the loop here over the last couple of minutes, how this came to be. Of course, seeing that first enter the screen as a very broad area of rotation. It's tightened recently. That's why we warranted the tornado warning. And now we're looking at a system that has still broad in nature, but definitely some clear rotation there on the velocity imagery here, looking on our system at the moment. Still going to look at some of the other impacts, though. We'll look at the potential for some heavy rains within this as well. And one quick zoom out for you here. Look at all of that lightning within this system. Something as well that could be a potential hazard to those across this region here. Not as much of a hail signature as we saw previously with this system just a few moments ago when it moved through Bay County, but can't rule that out because it's one of the main impacts that we're watching for this afternoon, with all of these showers and thunderstorms continuing to move through northwest Florida. This tornado warning, once again, is in effect until 2:15 p.m. Central. If the tornado holds together, they would choose to extend it. If it happens to weaken in some nature, we would probably be able to expire that. But until we reach that 2:15 p.m. Window, I'm going to need the folks living inside of this red polygon to take this one seriously in case we see the actual tornado make its way down to the surface and start having an impact on those in that region. I'm going to pull up a different product for you here. This is called the correlation coefficient. It helps us see irregularities in the atmosphere, things that we wouldn't normally see. Normally we'd see things like raindrops, of course, but if the tornado was spinning up some sort of debris from the surface, it would show up here in a bright color that would signify to us that there's at least some sort of damage being caused. At the moment, we look good, but again, not necessarily a reason to not take this warning seriously, because things could continue to develop or worsen as we continue to move or follow this system eastward over the next couple of moments. And speaking of conditions changing constantly with the system, newest radar scan has just come in, and a very different shape here to that signature of rotation. Notice it's tighter in nature. It's much smaller there between the reds and the greens. And of course, we have much brighter colors as well. No longer just the dull shades of red, now pinks and even that white color there. Meanwhile, on the green side, very bright shades of green. That tells us, notice the color scale on top of the screen, that those wind speeds are pretty strong at the moment. And that coinciding with the rather smaller nature of that couplet would suggest the storm has tightened slightly since the last radar scan, and it's strengthened as a result. So that's something to keep an eye on here as it continues to move eastward. I'll put it in motion for you once again so you can kind of follow that general storm motion throughout the panhandle. Watch as this one moves about 30 miles per hour, coming from 231 over the last couple of moments here. And then it kind of just marched eastward into Calhoun County, continuing to follow that same eastward trajectory that we saw just a little while ago. So there it is in motion. I'm going to step to the other side here, give you the best visual that you can get from this system. It's the same one, if you remember, moved through portions of Lynn Haven, crossed 231. For a while there, it wasn't tornado warned, but once again, once it got over past 231 out over these more rural areas, it certainly showed at least some resemblance of tightening and better structure. And now we're looking at a pretty impressive velocity signature, both sides they're moving towards and away from the radar, with some pretty impressive brightness there, suggesting at least rotation in the upper parts of the atmosphere, potentially even down towards the surface as well. Gonna send things over. Chris, ready for me to send things over to you?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Daniel. Right now, we are continuing to watch that cell over into Calhoun County, over into Walton County right now. We're looking at heavy rainfall. This is at Emerald Coast Middle School, where we have some very heavy rainfall there in South Walton along 98, pretty much the entire stretch of 98 going from Destin through Panama City Beach right now is where some of the heaviest of the rainfall is. As we look at live Doppler radar, we have the advisories in effect. We have that severe thunderstorm watch is in effect, and that severe thunderstorm watch goes until 6 o'clock Central Time this evening. The tornado watch continues until, or tornado warning continues until 2:15, and that is for Calhoun County. Let's go over and back to live Doppler radar. And we'll continue to watch this cell as it makes its way off towards the east at about 30 miles per hour. So right now, it's just north of the Gulf County border right there, passing to the south of Bluntstown. So at least if you're in Bluntstown, you have the potential to see some hail there, but at least the tornadic activity is going to be just to your south. Now, as we look over here, and we can, let's go ahead and bring this back to current and look at our hail tracker. And that's one of the things I don't want to kind of get lost in this, is where we've seen this possibility of hail extending all the way from Panama City and then back over into parts of Calhoun County. Right now, the possibility of hail is located just to the south of Bluntstown, and we're going to continue to watch this as it makes its way off towards the east. So stay weather aware there, in particular south of Bluntstown. That's where we have the tornado warning, but also in there, even if we don't end up having a tornado, you're undoubtedly going to end up having some pretty large hail over there in the southern part of Calhoun County. Also, as we look back down towards the south over into between Port St. Joe and Weewaw, just east of Highway 71 through this area, there's a possibility that we're going to be dealing with some hail located over there as well. And we can bring this back over. Let's see if we have vertical integrated liquid. No, we don't have that right there. But it's going to be pretty much right in this just north of Lake Wimico. The possibility of some hail there, and then the other area is going to be just to the north of Weewaw over southern Calhoun County, right up here near 71 and 73, the possibility of some large hail. And this is, again, the same cell that as we put it back into motion, and you can see how this is tracked. From Panama City Beach over on the west end of the beaches. You see how that hail tracker went from Laguna Beach. This is over the past hour through Panama City Beach, Breakfast Point, through Lynn Haven. Then we saw it die down just a little bit, but now we're seeing it pick back up as it moves on over into southern parts of Calhoun County. But again, if you're in Bluntstown, be on the guard for heavy rainfall, lightning, and hail, but the tornado is going to continue to stay just south of you. We're also seeing some indications of maybe some smaller hail that just crossed Cape San Blas, Port St. Joe, and again is now moving just to the north of Lake Wimico there in over into Gulf County. And then as you look back out to our west, some hail possible over the past. You see how it's been moving up through towards Fort Walton Beach. We've seen the possibility of some small hail there. Just south of, let's see, over into this area here where you're seeing some of the gray colors now showing up, we're seeing some indications of maybe some hail trying to form offshore there. And that's going to be something that if you're over into Grayton Beach, Seagrove Beach, that area, watch out for maybe some hail that's going to be moving on shore with one of those thunderstorms there. Let's see, let's bring it back over, and you see where we have, currently we have severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 6 o'clock. We have a severe thunderstorm warning. That does include Bluntstown. So this is for the same cell. There's just two different threats coming from the cell. One is going to be damaging wind and hail, and that does include Bluntstown. And then there's the tornado threat, which does not include Bluntstown, but does include a little bit of Liberty County right there along 12, I think that's 12 right there. And then 65 just to the south of Wilma, just almost right there. But you see there's a little bit of 65 included in that tornado warning as well. Again, this warning goes until 2:15. The severe thunderstorm warning goes till 2:45. The tornado warning goes until 2:15. This afternoon. But I want to keep a weather eye, especially just south of Grayton Beach. Let's bring it back over and look at reflectivity here. And you see up here's a good amount of lightning with this cell, and you can, let me take off the lightning just so it cleans it up a little bit. And you see right here is that notch. So right here's the notch. This is where the possible tornado is. It's about ready to cross Highway 71. Again, this is just to the south of Bluntstown. Bluntstown is not in the tornado warning, but you are in the severe thunderstorm warning. But if you're over southern Calhoun County near Highway 71, go ahead and seek shelter right now. If you're over southern Calhoun County along the Apalachicola River, same story. Seek shelter right now. Lowest interior room of your home, a hallway, a bathroom, a closet are always going to be amongst the safest places to be. The lowest floor that you have, obviously most of us don't have basements here in Florida, but if you could get down to the first floor, if you do have a second floor, if you could get underneath the stairs, things like that. You want to generally go towards the middle part of the house, but you can see there's that notch right now. About ready to cross over Highway 71 for this possible tornado that we still have about 8 minutes on. As far as, okay, there's a new update on the severe thunderstorm warning that they just issued. So let's bring it back over to the warnings here. Okay, and so you see where they just updated the warning. It still includes Bluntstown, but they're just, all they're doing is just going back and looking at, where the current cell is and just running an update here on the warning. But you still see this includes parts of Calhoun County, including Bluntstown and over into Liberty County, almost to Hosford, not quite, where 65 comes up and meets 20, but that's kind of the eastern boundary right there. Let's go ahead and bring it back out. And I want to show you guys, let's bring over velocity or reflectivity data. And we have the lightning data back on there. But I want to show you, let's see, over towards Grayton Beach. Let's keep an eye on this cell that's located just to the south of Grayton Beach right here. As that one continues to move on shore. Right now it's moving east-northeast at about 40 to 45 miles per hour. Again, this is just to the south of Grayton Beach. So we're going to be watching over into South Walton for that cell as it continues to gradually progress its way a little bit farther on shore. So right around in here. And then just to the north of that, there's going to be the possibility of some hail. So what you're going to be seeing, we'll look for some rotation possible down there. We're not seeing much right now, but in this area here that's about ready to move on shore towards Grayton Beach, Seagrove Beach, that area, then you need to go ahead and just be weather aware. You need to, if you have a car outside, you might want to tuck it in the garage if you're lucky enough to have a garage, because this hail that we've seen today has been up there at about 1 to 1.5, almost 2 inches in diameter, which is severe limits. So quarter size hail is where you get to the severe limits, and then as it gets bigger from there, and obviously the bigger the hail, the more likely you are to have things like dents in your car and start getting roof damage and things like that. So if you're over near Grayton Beach, Seagrove Beach, towards South Walton, that part, the eastern part of South Walton, go ahead and get inside, or if you're able to quickly, go ahead and tuck the car inside the garage here, because you have the possibility of some pretty big hail about ready to move in. The back edge of this is over towards Pensacola. And so we'll start to see some improvement here as we make our way through the next several hours. But again, we're still several hours away from getting into the back edge of that. We have our first batch of storms. There's one cell in particular that we've been watching moving through Calhoun County. But then we also have this line of storms extending offshore, with the primary threats being gusty winds, lightning, extremely heavy rainfall. Also looking at the possibility of seeing some pretty heavy hail. Let's see. So let's bring back over we can bring over the observed precipitation so far. That's the other thing. We've seen some incredible amounts of rainfall already. And we can bring, let me take off the warnings here and you guys get a better look at it. Okay, so they just updated the warning for Calhoun and Liberty. So a new one there just on this one's going to include Bluntstown. So we have Okay, so new tornado warning. You see the rainfall amounts that we've seen here so far, 2-3+ inches of rainfall. So that's already, and we still have another event that's going to be coming later on this week. Now, let's bring it back over on live Doppler radar. And we'll go ahead and, let's see, and we'll talk about that tornado warning that they just issued over into Calhoun and Liberty counties. This is an update or a new tornado warning in addition to the one that they just had. Well, I tell you what, it's probably just a replacement because the initial one's expiring in 3 minutes. Yeah, okay, so this is just a replacement here. It does technically include Blountstown. Blountstown, still, your primary threat is going to be large hail. But if you look real carefully here, here's your inflow notch right here. Notice it's still pretty far south of Blountstown. So I'm not overly concerned about the actual tornado itself being in Blountstown, but it is going to be passing across the Apalachicola River here in just a few minutes over into Liberty County. The new warning time on that is going to be 2:45. So the new tornado warning that they just issued on that cell is until 2:45. They say it's moving northeast at about 20 miles per hour. And right there is your inflow notch. There it is. So right there's your inflow notch right there, and it's going to be passing just south of Blountstown. Now, right now in Blountstown, you are probably seeing the specter of some pretty big hail about ready to move in there. So keep that in mind. Heavy rainfall, quite a bit of lightning, but the main circulation area does look like it's staying just south of you, right about ready to cross over the Apalachicola River. Now let's go back to current here, and we can go velocity data. Yeah, this is, I'd be surprised if this doesn't have a tornado on the ground. We'll check our debris data here in just a minute. But you can see this is pretty tightly wound up there right near Scotts Ferry. So if you're in Scotts Ferry, go ahead and seek shelter right now. Lowest interior room of your home, a hallway, a bathroom, a closet. This will also include, this is passing just to the south of Sharpstown and could eventually get over towards the Woods community there in Liberty County along Highway 12. So you see Blountstown is up here towards the top part of the screen, but the circulation should pass pretty far to the south. So my main threats in Blountstown, again, are going to be the heavy rainfall, lightning, and the possibility of hail. But as you get down towards Scotts Ferry, there's a possibility we have a tornado there right now. Let's bring it back over and look at. No, not seeing a debris signature right now. Let's bring it back. Current. But, oops. This is over into Destin right now. That's what it looks like there. This is, that was our tower camera here at the TV station. Took a lightning hit last weekend. This is over into Mossy Head, where we have still rainfall, some heavy rainfall there over at the elementary school, over into Mossy Head. So bring it back over and look at live Doppler radar. Take the lightning data off, and you see again possible tornado just very near Sharpston and between Sharpston and Scotts Ferry. So Sharpston just on the north side of the possible tornado. Scotts Ferry, that's where the rotation's pretty much passing over right now along Highway 71. And if you look real carefully here, we can bring over. And this is right there is the circulation. So that's your possible tornado again over Calhoun County and Liberty County. Both have a tornado warning. That tornado warning goes until 2:45. Near Blountstown, you have the possibility of hail and heavy rainfall and quite a bit of lightning. But in particular, the tornado threat is located just to your south along Highway 71. This is crossing 71 now and about ready to move over towards the Apalachicola River. So if you live along 71 south of Bluntstown and near the Apalachicola River, go ahead and seek shelter right now. Lowest interior room of your home, a hallway, a bathroom, a closet. This is going to cross over crossing over 71. It'll be crossing over the Apalachicola River here in just a moment, and then it will be crossing over Highway 12 over into Liberty County. Now, unfortunately, we don't have any cameras over in this area. We do have in Bristol, which is, just north of there, but this has gone probably past south of Bristol. There's the Toller K through 8 school there that we have camera at, but again, this should pass to the south. Technically, you're in the warning, but as it stands right now, let's put it into motion. It's drifting a little bit, maybe due north of east, and the latest speed we had was at about 20 miles an hour. Let's widen out the picture here. This will give you another look at it. So it had a broader circulation over Bay County, and we were watching it. I actually sent out a Facebook message saying we were watching it as it moved into Calhoun County. But you notice how much more it's tightened up right now as it makes its way through eastern parts of Calhoun County and then over towards Liberty County. So if you are in the Woods community, go ahead and seek shelter right now. A lower interior room of your home, a hallway, a bathroom, a closet, right along the Apalachicola River. A lot of fishing camps and things like that along the river. Go ahead and seek shelter. We can go ahead and do a storm track here on this cell. And let's see if we go, spring back over here. We'll do a storm track, properties. And so this gives you an idea of how much time you have. Woods, 15 minutes. Lake Mystic Church in 19 minutes. Connors Ford in about 26 minutes. If this cell continues to hold together, moving in that kind of east-northeasterly track, crossing from Calhoun County and over into Liberty County. So, this just gives you an idea of where this cell is potentially headed here over the next little bit. Hey, Dan, what are you seeing so far?
We've seen, obviously, this one cell move from the beaches down in Panama City Beach all the way over to Calhoun County. But that doesn't mean that those east of Calhoun or west of Calhoun County are now in the clear. Let me show you what I mean. There's so many showers and thunderstorms still yet to come through portions of northwest Florida. Your main line is just now entering Defuniak Springs, for example, down through Destin. That's the squall line feature that we've been talking about throughout the week this week. And notice that still has plenty of ways to go before we see its impacts. But of course, still keeping an eye on that tornado-warned cell, a discrete cell out ahead of that main line of showers and storms. And we've seen some evolutions in the rotation within that system, but the one thing that stayed consistent with this cell has been the frequent lightning and, of course, the presence of that very clear to see hail core, which has been one of the most widespread issues across the state of Florida, to be honest, this week. We have very cold temperatures above us in the atmosphere, still warm surface temperatures, and of course dry air aloft and moist air at the surface. It's very ideal conditions to produce hail, which is rare here, but still plenty of impressive images of it throughout the course of the day today so far. There is your tornado warning, all the lightning through there moving through that warning polygon, and within that is still a severe thunderstorm warning as well. Both of those until 2:45 this afternoon, but as I've mentioned just just a couple of moments ago. There's still plenty of showers, thunderstorms, and things of that nature to deal with beyond that 2:45 time frame. Of course, looking towards Walton County for now, for example, lots of showers and thunderstorms moving onshore at the moment. Bay County just had a new severe thunderstorm warning issued, and we're seeing more of the same. All modes of severe weather are possible today. So we're talking about the potential for hail, heavy rainfall. You can see strong straight line wind gusts. And then, of course, those rotating winds here, as we're seeing in that tornado warning cell at the moment. Back over to velocity imaging. Let's take a look at how this system has evolved over the last couple of moments. I'll zoom in for you here at Calhoun County, heading towards Liberty County now at the moment, and still showing that clear sign of very definite rotation in the atmosphere. You see those brighter red colors down there, and then the greens signifying very clear rotation in the atmosphere. If you're having a hard time seeing it, maybe you're not familiar with this product, that is where your rotation is at the moment. It's basically where the two colors are coupled together, suggesting winds are moving in opposite directions. And at the moment, the warning polygon pointing a little bit more northeast than the actual storm motion, expecting that storm to carry generally in an east-northeasterly trajectory into Liberty County at this hour, where it will continue to hopefully show a little bit of a weakening pattern, as we've seen it kind of pulse up and then quiet down throughout multiple evolutions in tornado warnings throughout this afternoon. But once again, I want to mention that this is not the only system we're watching at the moment, and I'll show you that rotation kind of filing in there. There's tightening of the winds, and then once we got to that warning, it really has shown some resemblance of a tornado that could potentially be on the ground here in a somewhat rural area, but of course still plenty of folks living along 71 here, for example, towards State Road 12 south of Bluntstown. Definitely want to find that interior shelter at a moment across that region. Looking at this system on the composite imagery at the moment, still lots of lightning in there. Unfortunately, I don't have the ability to turn the lightning strikes off, but beneath that, we're still going to see those darker reds, potentially even a purple color in there. That would be at least a suggestion of very large returns on the radar. At the same time, you can see that storm structure. Chris had mentioned just a few moments ago, it was a dry notch here. Sometimes you'll hear meteorologists talking about that hook echo. And there you can see somewhat of a resemblance of a hook, but compared to a radar scan or two ago, which would have been about 6 minutes ago, that hook has seen some of the dry air get filled in once again by rainfall, which hopefully suggests the weakening trend of the system. Here's a new scan, just maybe supporting that evidence at the moment. Still a notch of dry air in there, but the hook has dissipated just slightly, and I'd be shocked if we went over to the velocity product itself and hadn't seen at least hopefully some weakening of the rotation. And there it is, exactly that. Broader rotation in nature. Now you still have some spin in the atmosphere at the moment. That's right around here. But in terms of the brightness of the colors, which suggests stronger wind speeds, and then the tightness of the colors, which would show a tighter, more strengthened rotation, we have seen both of those trend backwards. And of course, we're probably getting some good interactions with the land there, the friction helping to slow things down. All in all, a positive trend for this system. But of course, it's still warned there until 2:45 Central Time. So those living in this red polygon at the moment, just take the time here to get to a safe shelter indoors, interior hallway, bathroom, away from windows, most importantly, on the first floor of your home or whatever structure you're in at the moment. Now, I want to show you what's going on once again across the panhandle, because this is just one of many severe thunderstorms or strong thunderstorms that we're watching. We have those special weather statements offshore, severe thunderstorm warning here in Bay County, that other one through Calhoun into Liberty County as well. Looking to the south, severe thunderstorms continuing out in the Gulf. And then, of course, for most of Northwest Florida, still have that severe thunderstorm watch as well. So even if you're not seeing those severe thunderstorm-like conditions at the moment, say you're Jackson County or in Washington, Holmes County, for example, if you're still shaded in this pink color, you have the ingredients present in the atmosphere for some strong to severe thunderstorms to occur. And once again, with all severe all modes of severe weather present in the atmosphere today, you can't rule out a quick spin up in any of these communities highlighted in the pinks. Looking back to the west, though, now we've seen that line of thunderstorms make some progress through portions of Walton County. bit of a bowing segment here, maybe some stronger wind gusts offshore, maybe potentially moving into Bay County at the moment. In terms of what we're seeing for hail across the area, or rainfall totals, I'll start with that. Look at how much we've dumped across the panhandle thus far. All these greens and yellows showing rain totals likely greater than 2.5 inches throughout the day. Still plenty more rainfall to come, both today and, of course, in the forecast, rain returning with scattered showers overnight tonight and tomorrow. More rainfall for the weekend. It's going to be a pretty soggy period here, and maybe not so much today. It's not unlikely, not completely impossible, but lesser in extent today that we'd see any flooding concerns. By the time we get all of this rainfall through and push it out of here and then see multiple more rounds of rainfall through Saturday, Sunday, we could start to be concerned a little bit more about that flooding potential across the region. But I wanted to show you the hail here that we could be seeing across the area right now. I'll put this into motion again, back down towards South Walton, potentially some lighter areas of hail. This grayer color is close to probably 1/2-inch diameter hail. Meanwhile, shifting eastward towards that same system that we've been following throughout the day so far. That's brought us multiple warnings. You can see, and of course, all of the brighter colors in here. We saw golf ball sized hail falling into Lynn Haven. Now, as that storm kind of pulsed down before the warning, a little bit less, but then panning back to where we are now, just recently, another pulse upwards in that hail core. We saw some more stronger or larger sized hail developing before just recently, that most recent scan. Things starting to hopefully subside, both with the hail there, and of course, we'll take a look at that rotation once again, hopefully see a similar trend. I think we're just moments away from the next radar scan here in Calhoun County towards Liberty County now. And this is a similar, well, we've seen that trend in the opposite direction once again, a brighter shade of green there paired with the reds. Here's what we're seeing on the, I'm missing all my clicks here. So we haven't seen that hook or that notch there, dry air quite as much recently, but we still have that rotation present in the atmosphere, and it's all happening inside of this red polygon box here that might be a little bit tough to see, but it's heading now towards Woods, for example, past to the south of Sharpston, Bluntstown, you're well to the north of this system. Those kind of in this direct easterly path as you head towards State Road 12 there, for example, Apalachicola River communities. You'll want to be keeping an eye out for this system as it approaches you here, moving somewhat slowly, just 20 miles per hour, but of course now it's pretty much on your doorstep, so the time has certainly starting to expire here to find your safe place to be. And we've seen at least slightly brighter wind speeds here, showing a stronger amount of winds, or stronger wind speeds, I should say, within this couplet. Still, though, notice fairly broad in nature compared to what we've seen previously, but certainly something to still maintain that heightened sense of awareness and concern here until we see a positive trend both in what we're seeing on the velocity signature and then, of course, shortly after that expiration of the tornado warning. They've just trimmed back that tornado warning polygon, now just including the very far southwestern corner of where that area of rotation is, but then maintaining that same structure up into Liberty County. Chris, what you thinking?
Well, thanks a lot, Dan. Got a couple things I'm looking at right now. I want to show you some pictures and videos of the hail that we've gotten in this afternoon. But first, I want to take you out over just south of Walton County and Inlet Beach. We're watching a cell. Go ahead and pull up Max 2 here. If you can go ahead and pull. There you go. If you look just south of Inlet Beach, we have an area of interest that we're going to be watching here. Right there, you notice how this thing is starting to spin up? That's probably producing a water spout just south of Laguna Beach. And as it continues to progress east towards Panama City Beach and Panama City, this may be our next cell that prompts a tornado warning. So if you're in Panama City Beach, stay weather aware here. We may have another tornado warning coming here in just a little bit. Right now, it appears likely that this cell is producing a water spout, most likely offshore, so we'll have to watch it. Now, keep in mind, southeast Walton, Inlet Beach, Panama City Beach, that area is currently under a severe thunderstorm warning for the possibility of damaging wind and hail. Now, also, this is, if you look real carefully here, there's the possibility we're getting maybe some rotation there just right near, let's see, this would be Deer Lakes. This is Seacrest area. towards Watersound Parkway. Some rotation there. Watch out towards Watersound Origins. We'll be watching that for the possibility of damaging wind. But the primary area that's showing spin up is right through here. So we're going to watch that. Also, that's where the strongest winds are, and that's where we could see, as this thing moves on shore, some pretty bad damage with the winds that are going to be coming on, whether it produces a tornado or not. But that's kind of my next spot that we're watching. Of course, we're also continuing to watch this cell as it moves over from, Calhoun County over into Liberty County. It's not quite as organized as it was a few minutes ago, but it's still there. And you see it just south of Sharpston, just past through the Scotts Ferry area. Now, bring it back out here, and we'll just get a shot here of the monitor behind me. And these are some of the viewer reports that we've had so far this afternoon. And we've had a boatload of hail reports across Northwest Florida. So go ahead and you can take it there on camera 1 for me. And you'll be able to see, some of the pictures and videos. There you go. Let me step out of the way. And these are some of the pictures and videos that we've gotten today. This is from Krista, and it was over into Lynn Haven today. We have, there's Ben Harris. He is, let's see, this is over towards Baywood Shore Estates. So there's that. Let's see here. Pam. This was over on New Jersey Avenue, so that was Lynn Haven. You can see that's fits in her palm, so probably about at least quarter-size hail right there. Lynn Haven, so there you go. That's goes from beyond the 2 to over 3, so that's probably about at least an 1.5 inch size hail. That was over. That was from Sherry Lynn Haven near the Walmart. These are just some of the reports that we've had today. This was Lynn Haven, where the ground was covered, pretty much looking like snow with large hail as the thunderstorm moved on through just a little while ago. The report came in at 1:04, so a little after 1 o'clock. And this is that same cell. This is a swimming pool over in Panama City Beach, and you see the splashes in there. That's that large hail, and there you can see how it just breaks apart and littering the ground. So again, pretty bayou. You see fence was knocked down there. Also had hail reports. And that'll be the thing to see is how much damage do we end up having to cars and things like that from this hail. And, we get hail occasionally here, but getting severe hail into that 1.5 inches over such a widespread area, certainly not something that we're used to seeing. Although, if you were paying attention yesterday, down across the peninsula of Florida, we had quite a bit of hail where literally the whole ground, where the whole ground was covered. So now we're seeing the hail today up across our neck of the woods. This is North Shore, and this came from Matt. And that's, again, pretty big hail there. That's at least 1.5 inches in diameter type hail. It takes about 1 inch hail is what classifies. This is Carol talking about, the garden being shredded there. And that's the other collateral damage in addition to cars will be a lot of those plants outside are just going to get shredded with some of that hail. But thank you, everyone, for sending in those pictures and videos of the hail. You can, of course, send in your pictures and videos on our website at WJHG.com. And then hit the little menu bar on the upper left and go down to submit pictures and videos. And we appreciate y'all sending those in. Now, let's bring it over back to Max 2, and we'll take a look at the radar and velocity data again. There's our cell moving possible tornado near Sharpston and Woods. This warning goes for another 9 minutes until 2:45. We have seen, it does look like it's a little bit weaker than what it was. You can see it was pretty prolific as it spun up over Calhoun County and really got going near Scotts Ferry. It does look like it's weakening at least somewhat. The next area of concern I have is over just south of Inlet Beach towards Laguna Beach. Now, this is still moving east, so it's going to likely pass, it's passing south of you in Laguna Beach as far as the rotation. But if you're in Panama City Beach, we're going to have to watch this one carefully, especially as you get down towards east of Pier Park. Would be the area that I'd be a little bit concerned with as far as this thing coming on shore in some form. Now, we'll keep an eye out on our cameras that we have along the coastline. We'll pay attention to the Sharkies cameras, any of those cameras that we have there, and we'll keep a close eye on those and keep you all posted because there's a potential for, at the very least, strong winds are going to be coming on the beach just east of Highway 79, the Pier Park area, but also the possibility that could be a water spout, so we could end up having a tornado warning issued here in the next few minutes. And that would be in addition to this one here, but it looks like we're seeing this one rapidly begin to kind of fizzle a little bit over Liberty County as it crossed over into Liberty County. We're not seeing that tight circulation that we were looking at just a little while ago. As we look at let me get rid of the lightning data there. You can still see there's a little bit of a hook there, but not as prolific as what it was just a little while ago, as it was over into parts of Calhoun County, south of Bluntstown. Speaking of Bluntstown, that's right now you're seeing heavy rainfall located over into Bluntstown. You're also looking at, let me just check. Liquid. Looks like the hail is probably just south of you. We're now seeing some hail possible over towards in South Walton, over near Seacrest Beach. But this is all part of the cell that we were just talking about over towards Seacrest, Inlet Beach, about ready to move over into Laguna Beach. Okay. So that is an update on the Calhoun and Liberty warning, it looks like, which goes this severe thunderstorm warning, Calhoun and Liberty until 3:45, Bay and Walton until 3:45, and the tornado warning should be expiring here in just a couple minutes, the one that was over into Calhoun and Liberty counties. So it looks like damaging wind is going to be a big threat here as this Boeing line now makes its way through Inlet Beach. And especially just south of there. So speaking of Inlet Beach, let's go ahead and pop this camera up here. So there we go. Okay, so there's that's the camera over into Inlet Beach right now. You can see the water tower. The water tower, they just actually finished it, I noticed today, as far as the renovations that they were doing on it. They got painted, got everything back up. But now we're seeing a pretty nasty thunderstorm there. It's too difficult to tell whether there's any hail, but you can see the trees are blowing around pretty good there. If you look towards the bottom part of the screen, looking over towards the water tower, but over there on the right-hand part of the screen over towards 30 Avenue. Occasionally you're seeing some artifacts pop up on there. It's probably from some lightning strikes that we're looking at over in that area as the storm passes on by. So that's what it's looking like right now over into Inlet Beach. Here, let's see here if this one. Okay, this is Panama City Beach. This is at the West End Fire Station. So we're looking here from the fire station, looking back out towards 98. And you see it looks a little bit more ominous there. You can see the trees are really blowing around quite a bit. But this is looking south towards the Gulf of Mexico and looking out towards Highway 98. Again, this is the Bay County Fire Station there on the west end of Panama City Beach, giving you an idea of what things are looking like right now over on the west end of the beaches. And this is where some of the worst of the weather is right now across our area. And it's going to be coming, in particular, the worst of it is going to be coming onshore, not too far away from Highway 79. So that's just a couple miles. This is a couple miles west of Highway 79. So Highway 79 just a few miles to the east. But that's where we're going to see probably some of the stronger winds beginning to come onshore there over on Panama City Beach. So let's bring back over. Here's the radar data. And we'll watch as this line moves in, and we can pull up our velocity data. Yeah. So a lot of times right here, see right there, that is where sometimes we get these little spin ups. So usually not a big tornado, but we can get small tornadoes or water spouts right about there. And you notice there's Laguna Beach just to the north. Over here is Highway 79. So as this thing moves east, it'd be coming in on Panama City Beach, probably just east of Pier Park. Okay, so right now, that's located, it's just to the south of, so there's Highway 79 right here. So there's Highway 79, and it's located just to the south there at not too far away from Pier Park. Let's see. Let me see. I'm trying to think if let's see if the Pier camera is if it's on. Go live. We'll see if it's on here. I'm sorry, I'm just off screen here looking at seeing if the camera that they have on the city pier at Pier Park, if that is on, but all I'm getting right now is just black. So either the camera's down, or perhaps it just doesn't have internet access right now because of the storm that's moving on by. Hey, Dan, why don't you go ahead and take a look at radar, and I'm going to see if I can't pull up some of these cameras. We'll just bounce back and forth, but give me a minute here to find some of these cameras.
Sure.
And we'll just see what they look like.
Great. Well, if you're just joining us, maybe time for a quick recap of what we've seen so far, what we can expect this afternoon, and of course, maybe what you're tuning in for right now is what currently is happening across the area. We have this frontal boundary that has shifted inland just a bit throughout the day today. Showers, thunderstorms racing out ahead of this cold front associated with a broad area of low pressure along the Gulf Coast. As it punches away from that main source of lift, it's still encountering an area with good instability, some decent wind shear above it, and all in all, just the perfect ingredients there for showers, thunderstorms to continue to be a threat for our region. And that's what we're seeing right now. Look at the lightning across this picture here. So many lightning strikes, both out in the Gulf, out on land as well. Severe thunderstorm warnings in multiple places. And then, of course, tornado warnings continuing to be something that we're watching at this hour. The current advisories across the region, we're seeing that a risk for severe.
Just issued a tornado warning for
Yep.
that cell.
Can you turn that off? So we have that severe thunderstorm warning, and now inside of that, a tornado warning has been issued for here in Bay County, where we are at the station at the moment. Meanwhile, that area, that's a tornado warning that we were watching in Calhoun County, has been allowed to expire. Rotation there has broadened in nature, no longer something to worry about here. So our eyes now shifting southward towards the coast, Panama City, Laguna Beach, Panama City Beach. Watch over the next few hours. Might be wondering when we'll finally say goodbye to all this rainfall. Well, still a little while to go. Looks like around 5, 6, maybe 7 o'clock we start to dry out, but for now we're stuck with dealing with some fairly intense showers and storms across the panhandle. So look at what we're experiencing at the moment. Of course, that's time to take a look at that new tornado warning. Chris alluded to it earlier, that mention of the potential of that gust front, or that general area, that bow echo pointing outwards within that main line of storms in the Gulf, could get some spin ups there on the corners of the trailing edges. It's almost like an airplane wing, how they have the vortices coming off the end of the wing. You can compare it, at least a good analogy, as to how we could get spin ups on the edge of that system. We're going to use velocity once again. I'm assuming this, Chris, is a radar indicated tornado warning once again, based on the things we've seen within that system. So this one now issued until 3:15 Central Time. We're looking right towards the beaches here in Panama City Beach. Populated area here, folks. So anybody living Front Beach Road, Middle Beach, Back Beach Road, all along Panama City Beach, we're going to want to find a safe place to be, even looking towards Lower Grand Lagoon as well, and over into Panama City, St. Andrews area if this thing holds together by the time it crosses over the bays. Here's our main source of rotation, a very strong and tightly coupled area of reds and greens in the atmosphere, and those reds and greens are signifying wind speeds and directions. The brighter the color, the stronger the wind, and then of course, if you see our scale here at the top of your screen, the reds are moving away and the greens are moving towards. If you have those together, that's where we're spotting that area of rotation. Now this one, worth zooming in even more so. That's how tight the rotation is at the moment. You'll notice that area right where that green and red pairs together. And this is what we're seeing. That's your tornado that could potentially be moving ashore here in the next couple of moments. Probably a water spout for sure out there heading.
Dan, the information the Weather Service had is that they're just doing a kind of blanket warning for the coastline because of the fact that there's so many little circulations that are embedded within the line. So there isn't a specific tornado or specific cell or a specific report of a tornado, but that's why they issued the warning. But it's kind of just for this whole line because you're seeing these little spin ups, kind of like we were looking at, Dan was pointing at right behind you right now. Go ahead and pop over to Max 2. Let me show you real quickly a couple of the cameras. This is Panama City Beach. This is at the this is at Panama City Beach at the Holiday Inn. So you see the lazy river right there. This is at Wonderworks. Whew. So we're looking towards Wonderworks. We're looking over that's the whatchamacallit, the Ripley's Museum right there. And this camera unfortunately pans, but you can see, look at the amount of water that's washing down on the roof, because obviously the roof isn't flat. Look at it. There's looks like a broom or something like that that's just getting washed down. And then we turn over towards, well, that's not okay.
Camera's struggling to hold together in the wind here.
That's what I'm wondering. So we are looking, that's Lake Town Wharf right there. And then that's Front Beach and Middle Beach roads right now. And again, this is the area that's seeing some of the worst of the weather right now as this storm moves through. Now, the TV station is under the tornado warning, so anyone that's not here in the studio, go ahead and get to your safe place right now for the possibility of a tornado. This is at the Casa Loma Resort on Panama City Beach. So this is, I think this is like right towards Front Beach and Middle Beach roads right now,
further west.
just a little bit farther to the west. So let's bring it back over here to the camera at Wonderworks, because that seems to be the one kind of closest to where we're seeing this possible tornado moving onshore, at least one of the notches. But as this whole line moves through, and this line right now is from Highway 79, Ebro, and extends all the way down towards Panama City Beach. Right now, kind of the brunt of it passing through that Front Beach, Middle Beach area. And then it'll be moving over across the Hathaway Bridge here in a few minutes, and then moving over into Panama City, Lynn Haven. So, hunker down over in Panama City and Lynn Haven for that possibility of a tornado moving in. Pretty Bayou, you are technically in the tornado warning. Grand Lagoon, you're in the tornado warning. Panama City is just on the edge of it. All of us just need to stay kind of weather aware, as this is that next, really should be the final main threat of severe weather moving through. After that, we'll see a continuation of rainfall and lightning, but it's not going to be anywhere near as intense as what we've been dealing with this afternoon. This is at the Holiday Inn, so this is just a skosh west of the Wonderworks camera that we've been watching.
I think I just spotted some hail falling there on the bottom right corner of the screen.
It wouldn't surprise me.
And I think worth mentioning, Chris, that with this line of showers and storms, not just the notches that could be tornadoes, where the winds could be damaging, that actual bow echo itself contains winds that are plenty strong enough to damage structures and other things themselves. So it's even, those outside of the tornado warning, maybe north of the base, that are going to see this line of storms here soon, you're probably also going to want to find a place indoors and ideally away from windows and in an interior part of your home, just to hunker down, with this line of storms showing as strong as it is here at the beaches. And all of us going to see this at some point over the next couple of hours. It's not a bad idea to just treat it all as if it's a tornado warning, just to make sure you can be as safe as possible.
No, absolutely. Because, even so, whether there's a tornado or not, the winds are going to be incredible as that squall line moves on through. And the reason why they issued the tornado warning is they're seeing those notches that I was talking to you guys about a little bit ago. Any of those has the potential to briefly spin up a tornado. Now, Pensacola's on the back edge of the rainfall, but you still see, I think Walton County is pretty much just about in the clear, as a lot of the worst of this is now passing east and moving through Bay County. It's basically kind of along the Highway 79 and east corridor seems to be where the biggest threat is. And you see there's your tornado warning, which right now goes a little bit into Panama City, but certainly includes Panama City Beach. But the primary threat along there will be damaging wind, but it can't be ruled out for the possibility of a brief spin up from a tornado, and that's why we have the tornado warning. But the threat remains the same. Damaging wind. Some small hail is located possibly in there. It's not as big as some of the hail that we had earlier, but it's still there. And let's see. Did they issue? Yeah, they reissued that tornado warning over in Liberty County too, and that goes until 3:15. So Bay County tornado warning 3:15, Liberty County tornado warning 3:15. So you see right there it is, and that notch kind of tightening up a little bit once again. Let me bring it back over to current, and let's look at velocity data. Yeah.
Such has been the trend with the system.
Yeah. So that's a pretty tight notch right there. It's right along 20 and 65, so this is not far away from Hosford. So if you're near Hosford, go ahead and seek shelter right now. This cell is moving towards the east-northeast. Let's see, current speed is northeast at 30 miles an hour. So near 20 and 65. If you're near 65 or near 65 or 20, especially as closer to that intersection, get to your safe place right now. It's over like Crow's Corner is one of the service stations over there. Go ahead and get to your safe place. Then as we bring it back over into Panama City.
Very large tornado warning.
Yeah. So there's a new tornado warning just issued. So this is kind of the same threat. Now this includes Youngstown, Highway 231, and points eastward over to the Gulf and Calhoun County lines. But it's right now, possible tornado is basically right here at the TV station. Just past so there's a new update. So now this is crossing over the Hathaway Bridge and is moving towards Lynn Haven. So again, if you are anywhere from, south of Crystal Lake, so there's 77. So pretty much this is getting close, going to be passing very near Lynn Haven and 77. Go ahead and get to your safe place now. Panama City Beach looks to be rapidly improving. But if you notice, there's a notch right here. The brightest colors indicating the strongest winds and maybe the tightest circulation is now moving over North Bay towards Lynn Haven. But then if you look farther to the south, out over across the Gulf, there is another notch right there. And so any of these three really have the potential to produce a tornado. And so that's why we need for you to go ahead and seek shelter. Go ahead and seek shelter right now. Let me pull up here.
You want to get some cameras up while I take the flight?
Yeah. Let me go ahead and grab a couple of these cameras that might get pretty close to where the circulation is.
And while Chris takes care of the camera hunt, we're still in a severe thunderstorm watch for everybody in the Panhandle. Of course, that's these areas highlighted in the pink, but looking busy as well with the warnings that are present. The severe thunderstorm warning, that yellow box there, another one here. Tornado itself, tornado warning here, potentially leaving into Gadsden County, and then in Bay County, southern Bay County, we've seen kind of a broadly encompassing tornado warning now being issued for a line of fairly intense wind gusts along a leading edge of this squall line, and there's little notches and different variations in wind speed and direction that would suggest the potential of a spin up to happen. So we're keeping everybody safe here. Anybody in southern Bay or southeastern Bay County now, are you looking towards Lynn Haven, Panama City, Callaway, Parker, even towards the lower Grand Lagoon area? All of you guys, now's the time to just take err on the side of caution here and find that safe place to be. Looking across the radar right now, still some showers behind that main line, but much weaker in nature as you look towards Okaloosa County, especially in Walnut.